So this question relates to the grading rubric for the discussion board, specifically the portion of the grading rubric that deals with responding to the question that's been assigned to your group. So the maximum number of points you receive for this portion of the discussion board is 4, and you can see that there are 3 criteria for responding to your question. Number 1, you must fully address the question, and basically what that means is if there is more than one part to the question, that you address all different parts of the question, or that you actually address the question that's being asked in the discussion. A lot of times students will post a response that really doesn't have anything to do with the question. It maybe relates to the topic of the question, but doesn't actually address the question. The second criteria is that in addition to addressing the question, you need to add to your response by providing some examples. Those examples can be from your personal experience, which I think in this particular class, in the communication class, we all have valid and relevant experiences that help us to illustrate different concepts or topics. Or you can bring in information from other sources. A lot of times there's maybe brief articles from the internet. Sometimes you may have read a book or seen a movie that has something to do with the topic, and you want to talk a little bit about that book or that movie, or a character from that book or that movie. You also can incorporate information from places like YouTube. A lot of videos out on YouTube that illustrate different communication concepts. Going back to what we talked about, what I just said about the movies, a lot of times you can find a short clip from a movie on YouTube that'll be a nice illustration of the concept. But that's just some examples of different ways that you can bring in additional examples or illustrations of the concept. And then finally, your response needs to be clearly written. In the discussion boards, I do pay attention to writing style, to spelling, grammar, etc. Or if you choose to speak your response, which is always an option, you can do a voice response rather than a written response, making sure that your response follows a clear line of organization, that we can follow your response, that you're using proper English, etc. in your response. So those are the 3 criteria for earning up to 4 points for your question response, and I hope that that helps to clarify those criteria, and that as we move down the scale in the rubric, if you only achieve 2 of those 3 criteria, you'll get between 2 and 3 points. If you only achieve 1 or none, you'll get 0 to 1 points in your discussion, at least for that portion of the discussion. If you have other questions about this, please post them here. I'll be happy to respond.